What's up, YouTube? I'm just thinking about something. With all this stuff that we found that shows in the Epstein files that they're definitely consuming human meat. Um, we also found out that Yum Yum Corporation, which thanks for that one, I needed to know that. I thought some of them were in the clear, and they're not. Yum Yum owns just about all of them. And yes, they have other companies that they're partnered with to own other ones. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if some of these new owners know about that. They're probably going through the same companies that these guys are going through, like Costco and whatnot. I thought McDonald's, since they had their own potatoes, had their own farms for this. Maybe that's why Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are buying up farmland. Cover up that. Because we have found out that most of their stuff doesn't even get bought from the U.S. A lot of them claim that they get it outside the U.S. And wouldn't that be a coincidence? Now it's harder to track where you actually got that meat from. I tell you this much, though, there is not enough cattle and pork and all that in the whole world to fill the type of order that they're doing for the world. There's no way that that's not going down. But I tell you who else knew about it before any of us? God, Jesus. That's why he made it a point to make sure we prayed and blessed every meal, no matter what. Imagine that. He knew this was coming. The government moved into the seat of Jesus, okay? The elites tried to mirror and move into the throne of God on earth. That is your Antichrist right there. And it is showing you that it is 100% true. The only people not seeing it are the ones that know they don't want to accept it. Wonder why they've been pushing fantasy versus reality so much. All this lines up with everything they've been doing. Everything. All I can say is thanks, God, for proving that all this was happening. This veil is being lifted, and they need to know. And I feel sick to my stomach knowing that I have eaten this stuff, so I am not innocent. To my defense, I did not know the things that I was eating contained that, or I would have never touched it. I am upset because I did like pizza. Pizza was one of my favorites. I can't even really eat it now. Every time I look at it, I just think of this stuff. Now that I know that Yum Yum is 100% the company behind this, that means Costco, or I think it's not Costco. It's like they have an actual rapper that used to have his same name. I can't even think of it. Cisco. There it is. Cisco. Them, the ones that deliver for Subway, all of them. All of them. They have billions of dollars and they put their money into these companies. They do all this stuff to get you to buy their stuff. Every bit of it is witchcraft. Most of it is to trick the slaves into giving up their money they got for working and keep them in debt so they keep working as a slave and never get anywhere. We all know that. This is just proving it. Yeah, I don't care what you all out there, the ones that listen and know that they're a part of this and getting all mad. You can get mad at yourself all you want. You can even come and try and take my life. I don't care. As evil as this world is, you'd be doing me a favor. In fact, if you got the balls and you can do it, go ahead and do it. I've already seen your drone out here in my yard. Yeah. If I ever see another one, you won't get it back. Oh, I promise you, you won't. Funny part is, you're so intelligent and you have all this technology that you put on satellites and sold to supposedly your mercenary government. You should be able to fly those things in high altitude and zoom into anything you want, or just use the fucking satellite, you know? Yeah, imagine that. Bunch of nerdy, sick, disgusting motherfuckers want all the slutty ass women to themselves. No wonder they turned everybody into sluts. That way they could have a show. I told you that's why they were doing that shit. Look at these women's designer clothes. You can see right through their fucking clothes. And these women are talking about, oh, men are doing this and this. Oh, we should be. Oh, shut up. If that ain't a fucking Sodom and Gomorrah freaking Jezebel succubus talking about that shit, I don't know what it is. Because that's exactly what that is. That's, again, using witchcraft, manipulation, black magic to manipulate you into letting them do what they want and into being the leaders. Have you all noticed that? Yeah, we mainly listen. The majority of people, and including our government, that's where it comes from. That's why everybody starts doing the shift. Because they just silently start going in that direction and people follow like a bunch of lost puppies. Nobody puts the brakes on and is like, whoa, should we be going this way? And why don't you? Because in the past they've made examples of those people without saying it. Everybody knows it. Michael Jackson was one of them, which is pretty funny. Looks like he's still alive. Supposedly Bin Laden was one of them. Pretty funny. There's stuff surfacing that he's still alive. Which I don't know why they're torturing kids and all these other people, but supposedly faking the deaths of all these people. Obviously, somewhere they're using them for something other than just that, because that's what they kept them alive for. These people don't give a shit about life. They'll kill you, make up a stupid ass story for it, and take everything you got. This is why they don't want you to have your guns. This is why they put a government over top of your Second Amendment so they could regulate, oh, well, did you use it properly? Motherfucker, shut up. These are the motherfuckers that also contributed to the development of the Geneva Convention. Yeah, blame it on Canada and fucking Poland. Yeah, right. It was the United States too. See what I mean? They always try and hide behind what everybody else does. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You've done way worse. Most of it was done in secret. Shut up. Y'all tested bioweapons in food, in the air, in broad daylight over your own civilians. But oh yeah, there's rules to war. There's rules to this, but you motherfuckers don't follow it. You haven't even told anybody about the fact that you guys were the ones that had SARS and MERS here as a bioweapon. Gee, I wonder where the first flu and all that came from. You jackasses messing with shit, trying to make up weapons. There's no way it can jump from an animal to a human without a certain protein that is not found in humans or animals for that reason. We had a perfect creator. You all are fucking with it. Why? Because you think you can do better. You can't even make water. Shut up. I swear, these people. And that's another one of their manipulation tactics that you see all over. And it's just used differently in different scenarios. It's the same thing the devil tried to do to Adam and Eve. It's the same thing the devil tried to do to God and didn't work. He got thrown on his ass. Then he got kicked in the face by Michael. He didn't like that either. Yeah, I bet you did. What does that remind you of? A rebellious child and the good child. What happened between Cain and Abel? The rebellious child and the good child. Wow. Wonder if that's why they say we're creatures of habit. Wonder that's why when most people have a routine that they stick to, they feel better. But that also makes you predictable, right? Right. Why are God's people so easy to mess with? Because the devil knows. You're supposed to hold off until the last minute and you have to let them cross the line first. That's how he gets some of us. That's exactly how. The other way is putting women in our lives that we think are just magnificent. And all of a sudden we come home and we have a demon in our fucking house that was not in that house when we left, at least that we didn't see. And what does she do? She makes everybody believe it's you and that she's just being traumatized and this and that and the other, when really, no. Then these men that, have flown off the handle and ran their mouth because they were pissed in front of cops, they might have been telling the truth, some of them. But because of the way they acted and the way it looked, she got her way. And she heals, she laughs, gets all the attention, and moves on. People give her all kinds of shit. Yeah. That doesn't happen with men. We can be proven that we were not in the wrong and that we didn't do nothing wrong, that this person did all this stuff, and we still have to be under that cloud even though we didn't do that shit. I've said that on other things, and people tried to bring up Casey Anthony. Don't even. That was a bitch that wanted to party. Reminds me of the 3 ex-girlfriends going around trying to baby trap men, finding out that, hey, I want to party, and that dude happened to be an F-boy. Yep, that's what they do. Oh, I love you. Oh, yeah, I'll give you anything. They sleep with you and they're gone. Why do you think these women said that about me? Because they knew I was against that. They knew I wasn't like that. So they tried to make that what it looked like. And they can't. F-boys don't stick around for a year and a half. F-boys don't stick around for 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 years. They don't. They stick around until the shine wears off. Then they're on to something else. Kind of like the ones I was dating. They bitch about F-boys and all this other shit, treating them bad, but what do? Same thing. And what's their excuse? Oh, well, you're a guy. You're going to lie and cheat eventually. I need to do it first. So you're creating F-boys by that ideology right there. You're creating them. Any man that hears that before they're going into a relationship is instantly going to be, fuck that. I'm just going to use them. What does that lead to? Fornication, never getting married, a whole bunch of kids that weren't planned, a whole bunch of chaos. Y'all ain't seeing this Jezebel spirit? Well, the men have to, yes, they do have to take responsibility because they were tricked and they accepted it. But that's as far as it goes. You all try and act like they have to accept every fucking thing that happened just because they chose that person. No, they don't. They have to accept the fact that they ignored things and tried to do what most people don't do with something that they didn't understand. It's not the same for women. They understand it because most of the time they're around other women that are doing it. They know it. Even if they're not the ones that do it, they can see it. They know it. Just because it's a male doing it should not be anything different. You should be able to recognize patterns. Yeah, we're creatures of habits. If you can't understand patterns, how do you understand a beat? How do you understand playing a video game? How do you understand playing any game? It's all about patterns. Freaking ridiculous, man. Even piecing a puzzle together, it doesn't matter how hard it is. It matters about the pattern that's on it. Once you get certain parts of it, the pattern goes right together. That's why they try to use the trickiest patterns they can find to put on puzzles, so it makes it harder. But yeah, you can still do it. Now, if you flipped it over and tried to do it, just by using the blank pieces and just the shapes, it would take forever. Because a lot of the shapes look like they fit, but they don't. That's why when they do the tricky pictures on there, and some of the shapes look exactly the same, you're like, oh yeah, that looks about right because the pattern and the shapes kind of match up. So you try it. That's when you find out, oh, once it goes and matches up, you see how the detail is off. Haha, tricked me. And you move on to another one, of course. I'm just saying, life's like that, but it's a lot more difficult. Some of it's verbal, some of it's physical, and some of it's tricky verbal and physical. Well, what do you mean? You see these funny little videos where, people trick people slightly and everybody starts laughing. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden they're caught standing there basically with which what used to be called a pants down situation. Kind of like the squirt gun one. Have you guys ever seen that? Where the guy goes into public and he hands a person a squirt gun and then he sees somebody with their back turned and he squirts them and walks away. And then when they turn around, they believe it's the one holding the squirt gun because, I mean, come on. That's what I mean. Now, that's supposed to be funny and comedy, which, yeah, that's innocent. But what happens when they use it for major things and for bad reasons? That's when it becomes not innocent. Just like magicians' tricks, they steal stuff from people. They're professional pickpocketers. They're using witchcraft to do so. It's basically sleight of hand. They're just distracting you until they can pull off what they want to make you think that they just made appear. And they're good at it too. Not all of them, some of them. But you get what I mean. Like them, a lot of them, if they wanted to, they could rob everybody in the freaking audience by doing that stuff. But no, they just show them that they can do it and they give it back. Well, I don't know. I haven't followed all those throughout the years, so there's probably some that use that as, stealing from people. Think about it. You take their wallet, yeah, give it back with pretty much all the money. Maybe missing a little. Most of them probably didn't even notice. I've seen people do shit like that, and I'm just like, how the fuck? And most of the time, that person wouldn't have known if I or somebody else didn't tell them. Like, yo, man, he just fucked with your shit, or she just did this. Well, you snitching. You're stealing from people. This dude ain't done nothing but help you out, be there for you. You call him a friend, and you're just gonna take money out of his shit. You can call me a snitch all you fucking want. It ain't happening in front of me. See, even that's another manipulation tactic to make people scared to, you know, st- stop people from what they're doing. Why? Because you say so? I don't give a shit if the majority of the world I even use it as a joke. We're joking with people. Snitches get stitches or dishes. It's just funny. But it doesn't mean that I don't see the bullshit behind it. It was funny. Fucking that fucking manager that Tiff was working on. She don't put up with no bullshit. Yeah, it's because she creates it. She looked at me like, "You ignorant motherfucker." It's the truth. She creates it. I didn't say this part, but I just cocked my head to the side like, well. And what I was meaning by that was, look at the situation we're in right this second. You sit there and say she ain't about the bullshit, and I said she creates it, and you freak out like I'm being just ignorant when it's a fact. Look where we're sitting right now, all because of her. Yeah, yeah, that's that kryptonite accountability, and that's what it does. That's also how you know they're evil, because they can't accept that shit. I mean, it's plain as fucking day, and there is no excuse for it. But they'll find something. The only excuse for it is the truth. You were lazy. You didn't want to take care of them. You didn't want people to think you were a bad mom and all this other shit. So you did all this shit to get what you wanted and to look the way you wanted. It's the same shit you would do with me. It was the same shit you used to do with anybody else you talked to. You even had the one dude all wrapped in you. And guess what? He found out what you were. Yep. She's one of those. She's a stepping stone. Yep. Any man you're with, if you don't have a lot of money or a way to make sure people are keeping an eye on her, I'm telling you right now, she gonna make that move. Yep, she's got that evil in her. She don't give a shit. I don't care how she acts. She acted so sweet towards children, animals, everything. But after we got together and she had her own kids, ho, that was completely wrong. Nope. She should have stayed with no kids. She was sweeter towards kids when she had none. Now, when everybody's around and all that, hell yeah, she'll play sweet just like she does with, kids that aren't hers. But she's only playing. And yeah, she's good at it. Especially if you don't know her like that. Yeah, my niece Angela and me talk about it all the time. And she's like, a lot of that I never seen. I said, really? I said, but you would take her side if she said that I was being abusive towards her. Well, sometimes because men are like that. I'm not. You've never seen me be abusive towards her? Well, no. You ever seen bruises on her? No. Okay. Her excuse was she just never had the heart to call the cops on me. You're a lying bitch. Wasn't the fact that you didn't have the heart, it was the fact you didn't have fucking any evidence because nothing ever happened. There was times when I was completely cool with you when you were being a fucking psycho. And all I did was take the kids and tell you we'd be back later until you calm down. I get pulled over by a state trooper that believes I just kidnapped my kids. Now I told him, no, she's flipping out. Kids wanted to come with me. We're going up here until she chills out. And he's like, oh, well, if I come up there looking for you, you better be there. I said, what? I said, sir, that's exactly where I'm going to be. Oh, so now I've got these people following me the fuck around, thinking that I'm something that I'm not, all because this bitch called and said something, even though none of that went down. I even have pictures of me sitting on the bed with David when I brought everybody back, and me and her's talking, and she's crying, saying she's sorry, and she wants to make sure. that this goes the way it needs to. And she was just saying all the shit that I wanted to hear, and she knew that was the truth, but she just used it. Obviously, the dude she was fucking with went somewhere else. That's an F boy for you. And all those times that, we would split up and the kids would be mad at her and didn't like her, there's pictures of David. Why, we're in Cedar Hill looking at her like he's scared to death of her. And I never even noticed that look until I started looking back through the pictures. And I'm like, whoa. And David was a sweet boy. If he loved you, dude, he ain't acting like that towards you. Nope. You seen how he was with his dad. Big smiles, always wanting to be close to his dad. He ain't like that in all his mom's pictures. He was 3 years old in that picture I looked at. Actually, he was around 2 or 3. So, yeah. That right there says a lot. He was a cute little shit. Especially when he covered himself in freaking chocolate pudding. Yep, she was sitting on the couch watching TV, and he was playing with me, and I needed to go out and do some yard work, so it was around lunchtime. So me and him had lunch. Then I went to go out to do that, and he wanted to be out there, and I didn't want him out there. He's just too little. And I was like, no, not today, buddy. I just want to hurry up and get it done so I can get back in here and we can, chill and do something else. And he was like, okay. And he said chocolate pudding. I said, all right, you want chocolate pudding? He said, yeah. So I picked him up. We opened the chocolate pudding. I'm goofing off with him as we're walking to his high chair. I put him in it, and I told her, I said, he's going to eat this while I get done doing what I got to do, and then I'll be back in. She nodded her head, and I went out, did what I had to do. I come back in, and he's got pudding all over him, playing with his belly button. And I'm just laughing. Like, what the hell? I mean, he's got all in his hair, all over his face, all over his shoulders, all over his chest, all over his belly, all over his legs. She's pissed, mad at me because I gave him chocolate pudding and then I didn't stay in there and watch him. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're right here, and he didn't hurt anything. This is a vinyl floor. He ain't hurting nothing. He's already gonna get a bath. It just looks like he's getting one earlier. I mean, jeez, it's not that big of a deal, lady. And she did. She tried to turn it into like some type of freaking, I don't know, controlling leadership, taking over moment. And I'm like, nah, you're sadly mistaken. You don't sit on your ass while your son's sitting right here, chewing me out because he put chocolate pudding all over him, and you're sitting right there. What the fuck do you think I am? I done did everything for you. I'm out here doing other stuff for what I got to do, and you're trying to act like I need to do even more. Yep. Then she started with, well, you gave it to him. You didn't. Yeah, I did all that. And guess what? That was taking care of my kids like you weren't doing. So, yeah, you can't sit there and use a Uno reverse card and bitch me out for shit that, you could be doing. Especially if you have a problem with what I'm doing. You also had a mouth. You could have said, hey, man, don't give him that yet. Wait until it's closer to his bath time or this or that. Oh, yeah, give him chocolate pudding right before he goes to bed. That's smart. This is the stupid shit I would have to deal with. I'd work fucking anywhere from 100 to 120 hours a week, man, and still have to come home and deal with that stuff. There's times I'd be lucky if I got a half an hour of sleep in the midst of 3 or 4 days. Are you kidding me? I don't know how the hell I was doing it. I really don't. People are like, how are you able? I do not know. I don't know. There's times I felt like I was walking on the moon. Are you kidding me? I had, you know how when your arm falls asleep and you get that tingling sensation? I had that from head to toe. I really felt like I was just floating around the job site just doing what I had to do. I didn't feel like I was walking at all. I'd never felt like that in my life. You want to talk about exhaustion? Yeah, I was fucking exhausted. You think she cared? Fuck no. I'm surprised I didn't fall asleep coming home. I didn't even think of that until now. I don't know how I stayed awake. Huh. No, it's not a joke. I promise you it is not a joke. I can even show you my records where they sent me a thing saying that I had enough work credits to retire at the age of 23. That's through the county and state and, like normal 65, 72-year-old people do. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? What I didn't know is that if you don't do it when they tell you you can do that, it goes away. Even though you're still working. Huh? What's it, reset? How's that work? Shouldn't that always be there? That makes no sense. Well, I heard that from somebody. I haven't checked into it. So I'm saying it like it's fact. And I don't really know if it's fact, but that's what I've heard from people. That when they tell you that you've reached that limit early, if you don't take it in a certain amount of time, you have to keep working to get back up to the credits to retire. I'm like, what? But nobody listens to me when I say that, and that is next to impossible. I mean, I would have to be like the Flash at work, right? And yeah, think about it. 120 hours a week as an average. You weren't working less than 100. I'm telling you right now, if you were with that man, no matter how good you were, no matter how fast you were not working less than 100, 110 hours a week. You were not. Not unless you wanted to be fired. Yeah, I told you. It was like boot camp. Couldn't be on your phone. Couldn't be texting. You're not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to stop. You're not even allowed to smoke cigarettes unless you can do it fast while you're walking back and forth from the van. Yeah, none of that shit. There was no breaks. There was no stop. There was none of that. Every once in a while, because of other people on the job and them bitching and throwing fits, every once in a while, around 5, 6 o'clock, he might order a pizza, depending if it's a big job and we've been working hard all day. But if we're almost finished, nope, we ain't getting shit until we're done. You want to talk about slave work? That's slave work. Picking up shit that weighs 3 times my fucking weight, carrying it fucking all over a building, putting it down, maneuvering it, putting it in, and taking the same amount of weight out before I put that in. You want to talk about a workout? I never bulked up or became big. I got really fucking strong. And I liked it because I was still flexible. I was just as strong as these motherfuckers. They couldn't even pick up what I could. I had two bodybuilders trying to pull a freaking 15 by 44 out of the back of a van. Actually, it was two of them. It was for an old folks home in Chesapeake City. And I mean, both of them trying everything they can fucking do. Even Uncle John walked up there and grabbed it. He said, "Nope." I said, "I'll get that motherfucker out of there." And they started laughing. They're like, "You ain't getting that out of there." I said, "Yes, I am. I'll get both of them out of there." And Uncle John gave me a look, and I said, "I'll bet you $200 I'll get both of them out of there." And they bet me. I knew what that look meant. You better bet them. You better make some money. So I did. I bet them. And you damn right they paid up. Dropped them right there behind the van. They couldn't believe that shit. I remember my insurance company. Y'all think this is a joke? When I first got my insurance, they tried to tell me I wasn't big enough. I'm like, what? Oh, I flipped out. I was fucking mad. I didn't go through all this bullshit and fucking all this pain and all this shit for you just to tell you ain't big. Bitch, I'll fuck you up. I ain't here for my fucking health. I ain't fucking blowing smoke up your ass. Give me my insurance so I can go work. That's exactly what they told me. I wanted to. Oh my gosh, my uncle had to tell me to go outside. Yeah, it's the same insurance company he went through. They've known him for over 20 years, well over 20 years, because he's had other insurance companies. You know, I mean, he's been in it for, he was in it for almost 40, over 40 years when I met him and was working for him. So, yeah, I got that everywhere I went. And I do believe some of it was just so they would make me, want to prove myself so they didn't have to do much work. Or so they got, better quality of work out of me than what they thought they were going to get just by looking at me. Even though, motherfucker, I do that quality of work all the time. That's just how I am. I am very, very OCD about my jobs. Yeah, I check with the homeowner with pretty much everything. And then I give a courtesy call a couple of days later. Well, like a week, couple weeks. I give it time, let it set in. Then I call them, make sure nothing's wrong. And I'll also sometimes give a courtesy call after a year and make sure everything's good. Yeah, even though I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that military and police do, I still offered military discount, police discount. Anybody that was considered physically disabled and not able to move furniture and all that would never have a furniture charge. Police didn't get a furniture charge. Firemen, doctors, nurses, and elderly or physically handicapped did not get a furniture charge. 55 or older got 10% discount, and police, firemen, first responders, military all got 20% discount. Yeah, there were some police officers that were real close to my friend or my family and all that I did stuff even cheaper. It doesn't take the quality down. It's the brain and the hands. It has nothing to do with the price. The price is what we're worth. And yeah, if we give you a break, you just got all that for what that price is worth. We did that because, you're good friends, your family. We do a lot of stuff back and forth with each other. I send you work, you send me work. So this is basically saying thank you. And why am I going to charge you when I'm going to end up having you do some work for me anyway? Yeah, as long as both businesses are doing good, you can do that for people that, help complete all your business stuff. It's a thank you. But you can't do it for everybody or you won't make money. You got to make money first to get big. Then you can start giving out better deals. You got to build up that bank account. And yeah, these assholes get to use it the whole time, sitting in their chairs doing all this dirty shit. Can't help that. I could if I lived the way, I should, which I have no problem doing that. The problem is I do like helping people and I like my job. Yeah, Tiffany seen I had a good business running. That's why she pulled all this. It's a way to sabotage it. And it did. Took it right down. Especially doing all this shit in front of all these crazy ass feminists. You don't think they're going to jump on board and help her attack it? Fucking right they will. He did what? Oh, we don't need shit. Let's get him. Come to find out later, he didn't do it. Oh. Oh well, he's a man anyway. Bitch. That's what I mean. That's what they do when you're not doing anything to them and they can't beat you. They'll attack your reputation. And she did. She got mad. Yes, she did. She also got mad when she heard that I was dating Sam. What'd you expect? I cut right through the bullshit, and that's what I was doing. And that girl loved everything about that relationship until she started fucking with it. And she didn't like that. Trying to use all this TikTok shit. Oh, that was another thing. Oh, any male that's on TikTok is a pervert. Well, you're on TikTok. Oh, well, we're females. We're not perverts. What? I wasn't even on TikTok or even thought about it until after we broke up. Then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm getting on TikTok. You're right. I should have stayed off because it's a piece of shit. It's filled with witches and pedophiles and nasty motherfuckers. No wonder you didn't want me on there because look at all the people you talk to and how you talk to them. Yeah, that's why. This is what I mean. You women, the ones just like you, Sam, Tiffany, Jen, Bethany, you create F boys. Yes, you do. You create broken homes because you can't stick to anything you fucking say. You all are spoiled little girls that got your way. Even Tiffany, yes, she did. She threw a fit about a pink truck that her grandfather got her. He went and got her something else. She took both toys, which meant she didn't care about that truck. She liked it. She just knew that if she threw a fit, she was going to get more. And she got it. Oh, that's just kids. Yeah, it is at that. Yes, you're right. Did she learn from it? Did she stop? No. She elaborated and used it in adult situations, which got a lot of people hurt, and she knew it. She knew it the whole time. It's a lot different. It's not over a gift, just trying to be greedy as a child and get more. Okay, that kind of stuff should stop at around freaking, I'd say 8, 9, 10 years old. They should start learning that you just don't do that to people. Kind of like Talon and Kirsten were. They wouldn't do that to people. Did they try stuff like that? Yeah. Were they told and taught not to because of why? Yes. And they listened. David was the one that I didn't get a chance to really do that too much. And his mother already had a manipulated hold on him. And yeah, that was because she was jealous of the bond that me and him had. So she did this fucked up bond with him instead of doing a good bond with him. And I don't want to hear your shit, Tiffany. If you can fake it, you can do it. So, bunch of bullshit, man. Yeah, I'm just saying, this same demonic presence is over everybody. It's causing a lot of people to do things that like this that are very similar. They have different details, but the basics of it are the same. Greed, ungratefulness, selfishness, cold, unloving, ungodly. Yeah, all that. Yep. But I'm speaking to a majority of demons. Most of you have already accepted demonic things. So that's why you're so numb and not reacting the way you should be. Not just towards my situation. I'm talking about everything going on. Some of us are starting to. Some of us were like that before, but we also know that's what they want. They want us coming in small groups so they can take you out and make you look crazy so they have an excuse to take the next ones out. And if they can't do that, they're just going to take you all out. They want depopulation. They're going to get the population down to about 500 million. That way, they can do all this nasty shit and they can control everybody. They have robots to do the work they don't want to do. And I guarantee you, the most people that are going to die are going to be men. Because that's mainly who they don't want in the way. Manly men. That's why they're being attacked. Even though, when it comes to protecting and saving, that's what they want. But that's what they're attacking. This is literally how things can be spelled out, and people deliberately don't listen. And I get it. I was one of them. It's probably why I'm understanding it now. Thanks for the delay. Yeah. A lot of it I learned at a younger age. I shook my head and didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that people were that cold and ignorant, especially women. That really fucking killed me. No, I looked up to them like they were the hearts of the world. And I clearly found out that they are not. I've found out that men have more genuine hearts than women ever did. They're just pissed off because women keep fucking them over. And yeah, some of them have made choices to turn themselves into things they shouldn't be. And no, I'm not saying that as, oh, they should be, you know, no. They chose that. They did it. Just like these women that, for whatever reason, choose to do what they do. They chose to do it. They did it. But a lot of them, they have no reasoning behind what they're doing. Men at least have a reason. And I call them males. Sorry, buddy, you lost that man card. And at times I've lost my own from losing my cool. Have I earned it back? Yeah. That's what I mean by I'm not perfect. And yeah, people have sucked me into things. That's where I've learned all this shit. I've watched other people get sucked into things. I've also seen where people were headed with things after I had cut it off before they could. And I had people come up later and be like, wow, good thing you cut that off because look what they were heading for. And you were going to be the one they were going to use. And I'm like, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I thank God she didn't do this shit while we were together and I was at work. Because if she would have, dude, I just know she would have found a way to put my ass in prison for it. And she'd be out there scot clean. Maybe on probation, but she'd be out there. I'd be in a jail cell for something I didn't do. What they do, they hate men. They secretly fucking hate men. And for some reason, they hate the good ones. They get mad because they were wrong. and then they destroy you, all because they had this opinion about you that wasn't true. Like, once again, it leads back to accountability on them, but it gets blamed on you, fuckers.